This was so worth the money. This was like maybe $300. I have not got more miles per gallon out of any other mod I've done to any vehicle. Alright, so I decided that it'd probably be nice to get a few clips of the current blow-off valve on the car and then compare it to the new Turbosmart one that I just received this morning. So I'm gonna try my best to capture this blow-off valve. It's kind of hard to hear on the camera over the exhaust, and I've never really been out of this car, never did a drive-by or anything like that, so I could not tell you how loud it is on the outside either. It's a really mild psh. If you ease off the throttle, it'll do a pretty much. But you probably can't even hear on the video. I've got the windows cracked and all that, just so I could hopefully have you guys hear it. If I had a friend could hold the camera for me, I'd do a drive-by so you guys can actually hear it on the outside as I go by. But my roommates are still asleep and I'd rather not wake them. Plus I gotta get this thing done sometime today, so I don't really have time to wait on them. Apparently this Turbosmart one's supposed to be quite a bit louder, and from what I've seen on it, it's a pretty simple install. It's a pretty cheap blow-off valve as well, and it sounds phenomenal. So I figured what better way to start off this build, something that's going to change the sound of the car. So that's how I am personally. I want my car to be me before I decide to just go balls to walls with performance. I want it to have a specific sound that people can tie to me, or like a specific look before we go balls to walls on parts. So that's why I went for the blow-off valve first. I'd say the next part we get will be an intake for this thing. So you'll be able to hear the turbo spool up a bit more, which I think would be nice. So here we are, guys. Here's the garage. The roll is cooling off right there, and I thought it'd be the perfect time to show you one of the other projects. There she is right there. So here's the bike again, but here is my first vehicle I've ever owned. It's a little rough, but it's a 96 S10. The front end's been converted to a 98 plus front, which personally I'm not a fan of anymore. I want to swap back, but I think it'd be too much effort to do that, if I'm being honest. So I'm not too worried about it. It's a step side. It has a matching bed cover, which I have to go pick up from where it was sitting in storage for so long. So a couple things we gotta do. Both bed sides are pretty shot. Up here is solid. Down here at the actual lip, it's pretty shot. Like that's Bondo. I mean, you can see it's all sorts of messed up. Yeah, so that's one of the projects, is to complete both bed sides. Here we go. So it's a 5-speed. It's already got a quick release hub on it. I want to completely restore the interior and put a radio in it. Possibly even get some bucket seats. I know that driver door needs some door pins. So that's also on our list, is door pins. And the big one that I haven't really talked about yet. If you'll give me just a moment, I will show you. All right, so we're here. And the most recent of the problems is I'm pretty sure it popped a head gasket. It'll run completely fine until it hits operating temperature, and then it'll just start misfiring like crazy. I replaced the radiator, the water pump, the thermostat, did all that, replaced spark plugs, cap and rotor, plug wires, all that. It's been hot a couple times, so I'm assuming the head gasket's popped. So we'll have a video tearing this thing apart, replacing the full top end of the 4.3, and then once I get it driving around again, I plan on doing a complete suspension overhaul, front and rear. Probably doing a QA1, and then once all that's done, I'm thinking about pulling this baby out and dropping it in a 350 or an LS1 or LS2. But that's a pretty long ways down the road. But I just thought I would share what the plans are with this guy. Anyways, I'm gonna get the car up in there now, and I'll be back with you guys in a minute. All right, guys, I have got a jack underneath the Corolla. Even with a low profile jack, I still had to put it on wooden blocks to raise about an inch, because it's pretty hard to get to from the sides. It wouldn't be so hard to get from that side. However, I don't have the room to go over there and do this install, because we're gonna need most of our room over here. So I got a jack underneath the car. Once I get it up in the air, I will show you guys where you should jack it from. And yeah, it was kind of more of a pain than I thought it was gonna be. But that's okay. It's gonna be so worth it in the end. So I've got my parts pretty much. I just need to go grab a couple sockets once we get this wheel off, and we'll just go at it. So I'll get this thing in the air. Car's up in the air. You're gonna need a 21mm socket to take off your lug nuts. So that is what I'm gonna do right now. Gather all those up. Put this out of the way. Alright. Now, gotta take the wheel off. And there should be a fender liner up here that you have to take off as well. So, take this off. So what you're looking at straight in front of you, this guy right here, has to come out. It's 2 10mm, and it looks like 3 pop tabs, maybe 4. So I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver and we'll go to town on it.
All right, quite a bit more disassembly was required than I thought. The good thing is, if you do have a GR Corolla, these pop tabs are surprisingly very easy to deal with. Extremely easy to deal with. So, to get to your blow off valve, which I see it's way up there, you're going to have to take off this clamp. There's these two bolts, which bolts out your intercooler pipe to your block. There's one up here. It's hot. Yeah, it's right here. I got my hand on it. If you just follow this pipe up, you should be able to find it. And there's probably one right here on the other side of this. Yeah, it's right here, just behind. Yeah, there it is. You can see it, just barely. I'll try to isolate those in the video, but yeah. And now that I'm in here, this crank pulley is so small. It's so tiny. I didn't realize how small the crank was. I mean, it's only a 3-cylinder, but still. All right, so luckily everything on here should be a 10mm. So that should make things pretty easy when taking this thing apart, which I'm very thankful for. I hated working on my 240 SX and having to deal with 8mm and stuff like that. There. Sweet. There's that. Let's see if I can get these. Yeah, you guys can see them on camera. Whew. Oh my gosh, okay. So the band clamp on this guy, of course, is pointing at the worst possible position to be able to access. Since my band clamp down here is pointing down, I'm gonna use a 10mm. I don't think I'll be able to get a very good angle on this, because there's a lot of stuff in the way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't quite know how some of this fender liner tabs work, because some of them are a little weird. So I'm gonna try to get these off without taking the entirety of the fender liner out, because of course this side's overlapped with this side, this side's overlapped with this side, so I have to take the back out first, then the front, just to get the fender liner out. And I'll be honest, I don't think I have that kind of time commitment today. I already started off and I messed up filming 2 or 3 times already. So I think I'd just rather get this over and done with if I can. Now it's loose so I can get my hand. Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna flip this band whenever I get it off. There's that. So it's off. Just gotta get the intercooler pipe off. Ding, ding, ding. That's off now. Now we go back to our trusty ratchet and break this guy loose. All right, I'll keep this guy over here. Make sure we don't lose any bolts. By the way, the engine has been off for probably an hour or 2 now, and it is still very, very hot. Come on, bro. Dude, Jesus. There we go. Thankfully, it has mounting holes on the bracket, so you can just screw your stuff back in. So, there's all that taken care of. Thankfully, the one all the way back up in there is at a decent place. Let's see if I can move. You can see. I don't know how much you'll be able to see. I think you can see the plug. Put that blow-off valve. Turbo is still really hot. Hey, there we go. All right, so here's the next step. That black pipe right there, that's the turbo inlet. We're gonna have to remove that 10mm and that other 10mm on that stud, and then pull that away. I think I'm gonna have to remove that band clamp on top as well, and then the blow-off valve is right behind it. So I can't really film this while I do it, but I wanted to show you guys anyways of where you guys need to unbolt to access the turbo inlet. So as you can see, we're right over there before we're supposed to undo that, and then we should be able to get our new blow-off valve on. All right, so you see where my ratchet's at? That's your turbo inlet. We're gonna have to remove that band clamp, and then it should come off. And then you should be, you see that little plug right there? That's your blow-off valve. So I'm going to take that off, and I will show you guys the blow-off valve when I get it off. See ya. So here's your inlet. You have the stud on the right side, the bolt on the left, and then you have this little 10mm up the top. Getting this to break away was harder than actually pulling this thing out. So once you get this to break contact with the pipe above, it should just come out real simple. Now, let's see. That guy right there is your blow-off valve. The plug, it's not that hard to get undone. It's just that little tab right there. Pushing that tab is quite a bit hard, but actually getting the plug off of the blow-off valve was not difficult at all. So I'm going to get my T30 Torx and take that thing off. So I'll be right back. All right, so here is the factory Toyota blow-off valve. It is It's kind of hefty. I'm surprised how hefty it was. I thought it was gonna be pretty light. That's all you get is just that little guy going versus this guy. It's a little lighter weight, surprisingly, and then you've got this big diameter. It goes. So I'll see if I get a size difference. So there's your size difference. This one's quite a bit heftier, but if I'm being honest, this one I think weighs more. There's a lot of weight in this thing versus this is kind of light. But yeah, here's your plug and play. I think you just plug that in to the existing plug. It's the exact same as this guy. You just plug this guy into the existing plug and everything should just work. And this kit also allows you to clock which way you want the blow-off valve. This spins, so you can move it however you feel like you need, which I think is nice. So I'm gonna go on and reverse all these steps. I don't think I'm going to film this part because it's just gonna be a repeat, and might as well save some time on the install while I can. I will show you guys the 3 holes that I took this off, because in the video that I saw, it didn't show. So right there, one on top, one on the side, and one right there next to the block. So there's your blow-off valve. There's the turbo inlet, the stud and the nut, and then there's that pipe that you had to take the band clamp off. So that should take care of all the stuff that I did not show. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this thing put back together and let's make some turbo noises. All right, to show you guys what I have accomplished, the Turbosmart blow-off valve is right there. I clocked it a little bit away from that inlet. That rotating mount that they have, where you can adjust it where you want, it goes on one way. They are not equally spaced bolt holes. There are certain ways, so when you go put that on, just make sure you have that lined up. And the easiest way to get that inlet tube on would be to pop the top on first, get it like partially on, slip that stud through, push it all the way onto the pipe above, and then start threading your bolts in. And it went pretty quick. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to it, and I'll be back with you guys when I get the car back together. She's all put back together. I'm gonna go shower because I'm pretty disgusting, and I'll take her for a spin. So I'll be back.
All right, so here's the first startup of the new blow-off valve. I don't hear any leaks. Let it do its thing. No check engine light. Let's pull it out in sunlight. Holy shit. This thing sounds wicked. Hold on. Shut up. Hold on. Oh my god. Dude, this is so fucking worth it. Oh my god. Dude, this is awesome. Fuck yeah. Dude, this thing is. No check engine lights, nothing. I'm gonna let this thing warm up and I'm gonna take it for a spin. Guys, this thing is so fucking crazy. I'm gonna do a little bit of a pull. Dude, this was so worth the money. This was like maybe $300. I have not got more miles per gallon out of any other mod I've done to any vehicle for that cheap. Holy crap. Dude, this is awesome. I'm gonna do a pull heading out of this stop sign, and I'm gonna hit full boost. Dude, this thing is sweet. Oh my God. Holy shit. I'm sorry about the cussing, but God, this is so awesome. But I think I'm gonna end this video here. I consider this a great fucking success. A great success. Oh my gosh. So I will see you guys next time.